Today we have two special speakers with us, Mr. Abhishek Pareek, Ph.D, CEO, Atal Incubation Centre, Banasthali Vidyapith, and Madhavi Jadha, founder of ThatMate. Abhishek is the CEO of Atal Incubation Centre at Banasthali Vidyapith. It is the first women-centered business incubator solely supporting women-led startups. Abhishek has over 15 years of experience, including senior level industry experience in top rated banks in India. His worldwide experience in risk management and working capital finance across sectors and geographics give him a good understanding of different businesses. Meanwhile, Madhvi is a social entrepreneur who spotted a huge unmet need for information among teenagers on issues related to mental and sexual wellness. This inspired her to found ThatMate, a startup platform for teenagers that has age appropriate curriculum delivered through comic, books, video, interactive stories, and workshops. A petroleum engineer from Pune University, Madhavi has worked with companies like Reliance and Shell for 9+ years before starting on her own. She is a TEDx speaker and has been featured extensively by mainstream media in the country. In 2014, she was featured by USA Today as one of the new faces of engineering, a cultivate honor given to a young engineer below 30 years of age. And then we welcome our moderator, Mr. Rajkumar Johnny. He has been working with diverse social enterprises and startups in the irrigation solution water, urban forestry, farm-based value chains, and rural livelihood sector for the past 2 decades. He assists and mentor MSMEs, SHGs, Women Federation, Farmer Producer Organization, and youth in setting up their micro ventures. So let's begin the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Anjali. And it's been a pleasure to welcome my great friend Abhishek this morning, who has been on the run all the time. So it's difficult to catch him. And also, it's my honor to welcome Madhvi this morning because Madhvi has also been a very inspirational figure in the world of startups. So, and thanks for connecting me to her again, Abhishek. So that credit also goes to you. And so I'm very happy. And in fact, this program is happening now at a time when we are actually in the midst of another, I think, uncertainty which is prevailing on in our lives, which is another bout of pandemic. I think there is a new virus which is in the air, and then there is new, you can say, anxiety, new uncertainty which is prevailing, and we don't know, in fact, so in fact we were just discussing before this program started that now is the time for us to actually not only put our act together in a speedy manner, but at the same time it is a great time for us to reflect upon what has gone good or bad both in the past. And this calls for collaboration. I think the time for collaboration has come when we have seen so many institutions coming together, so many individuals coming together, so many, and in fact, we are very proud that we are the startup capital in the world today. And Modi ji's program has actually gone to the whole world, and the whole world knows India's prowess now. So this is actually a big time, and in fact, an opportune time to talk about little, I would say, not undressed, but it is little less addressed kind of a need, which is the need for women's entrepreneurship. And today's topic is actually dedicated to this very vital topic of women entrepreneurship. And there can't be a better person than Mr. Abhishek Pareek, Dr. Abhishek Pareek, who is actually heading India's topmost women incubators, and then they are specialized from Banasthali University, is world's largest, I suppose, now, the women's university. And AIC Banasthali has got the unique distinction of being number one in India in terms of incubators. So thanks a lot, Abhishek, for this. And actually brings me to the first question that I want to ask you, that what is it that you are doing at AIC Banasthali that makes you so unique, so different?
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be part of this discussion. Thank you so much. And thanks, Ms. Andari, also for the kind introduction. I think I give you some background of how we started, and then
Sure.
I will come on to the later part of the question.
Sure.
2015, we had a e-cell here in the campus, which was almost 20-year-old, and more of an academic e-cell, which only had some activities throughout the year, but not much of dynamism or not much of fun, or there was that element was missing. And then I realized that we've been hearing about entrepreneurship, which was coming in a big way in 2015-16. It was a new word that time, although, but
Yes.
we could hear that a lot of action was there from outside, and starters were talked through. And we thought that let us also see if our entrepreneurship cell can also do something new and something better, and we can start training students on entrepreneurship. The first hurdle which we had was that entrepreneurship, a lot of students were not even aware of, leave alone startups. They were not even aware of what entrepreneurship is. They were aware of a business, which certainly we teach in various business programs or so. But then entrepreneurship was something new to them. So we started training students on entrepreneurship, doing a lot of activities, a lot of involvement was there. But we soon realized that when you start motivating them to start their ventures, you need a incubation center also. That was a natural progression of orienting students on entrepreneurship. So we thought that let us also think of incubation center, but it was such a new word that time, and we had no reference point where to start. So we started reaching out to some people in Bangalore, because we thought that that's where the real action is. And we started calling them to Banasthali, saying that we need to set up an incubation center, please help us. And they used to ask a bomb from us, that this is money we need to set up an incubation center. But then 2016, so we started constructing the building and thought that maybe the incubation center should look like that's what the academic mindset
Corporate
is.
office.
You need a department or so. So
Yes.
that's what we started building in 2016. Niti Aayog came up with a call for application for setting up world-class incubation centers across the country. And we thought that it's a good time for us to apply and see if the government can support this initiative. And I think it was a godsend scheme that time, and we were among the top 10 incubation centers which were selected as part of the first round. And that's where the whole game changed. 2017, we established the incubation center, and January 2018, we started the programs. And the whole mindset, then everything changed. Now, coming back to your question, what we do for supporting women entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurs differently, is when this incubation center came up, in fact, I went on a Bharat Brahman. I visited almost 20 incubation centers across India, met with hundreds of women founders across India, and understood what are the key challenges they go through. And one of the challenges which we could figure out was that most of the entrepreneurs, they start after a sabbatical. They had some break in their career, and then they think that let me start some business. And most of the incubation centers were asking entrepreneurs to come down to the physical space. They wanted them to be part of the physical space and have to incubate their ventures there. And we thought that this model will not work with women, because they certainly have family responsibility, they're married, they have kids, and a lot of other challenges they go through. So that's where we created India's first hybrid incubation model, saying that you don't need to come to the incubation center. We'll do things virtually, and there is only some part of it where you have to come physically, that too for 1 or 2 days in a month or so. And that model clicked. A lot of founders throughout the country applied for that program, and we could really could see that these founders were able to get better out of the program, because they were not mandatorily asked to come down to the incubation center. But the next challenge was how to create that engagement virtually. So we created a lot of processes so that we can reach out to these founders and build that engagement online also. A lot of processes were created, and somehow that worked. And I think a lot of people that time, 2017, told us that why do you need a separate incubation center for women entrepreneurs? I mean, what's so different about women entrepreneurs?
Yes.
But then, given the legacy of Banasthali of last 88 years, we were very clear in our mind that women have different challenges, and that needs to be looked at differently. So the simple answer to that is we don't do different things, but we do things differently. So, so I think a lot of processes we created, and there's a lot of hand-holding support, which we offer to startups. Is moral support is there, and the other thing is that you have to provide them a lot of confidence so that they can have a worldview of things and see things differently and can really work towards that particular milestone. Because we could see that a lot of entrepreneurs were there, which is proven by statistics also, that 90% of women entrepreneurs are single founder driven organizations. They don't have money, they don't have bank finance. So we could see that there are a lot of entrepreneurs are there who have a good business model, but they're not scalable as such, because the vision of scale is not there. There's something inherently stopping them to go to the a larger business. So we provide a lot of handholding support, a lot of confidence, business connects, networking connects, and a lot of other things which we create personally for women entrepreneurs depending upon their requirements. So that's the answer to your question.
Great. Yeah. So Abhishek, I think what I could to read between the lines is that, there was a momentum which was coming up, and you picked with the momentum, and you kind of, also zeroed in on certain opportunities which came your way. For example, AIC happened that time. And but initially, in fact, I'm also associated with AIC Banasthali for now 5 to 6 years, and I've seen that there is a remarkable change of the kind of entrepreneurs who are coming forward. From those days, I think 2016, 17, I've seen. So there is a lot of improvement in the quality also, I would say. Not only I think it is an effort of AIC Banasthali, which is definitely there, but I think also it is also a sign of maturity of these incubators and accelerators. Would you agree with me?
I think, sir, overall, there's a lot of knowledge which is available among entrepreneurs.
Yes.
In fact, I think technology is a handy tool these days. Plus, the ecosystem as such is improving overall. I think when we started, there were only 100 or so incubation centers which were functioning. Out of those, only 10, 15 are the ones who were really doing something good. Rest only were the buildings were there, but somehow the process or the quality was not there. Today, I think the number has reached up to 700. This is what I hear. Although the right number I'm not sure, but this is what I hear from somebody, that 700 incubation centers are there. Almost 400 of them are fully functional. Which I think
400 are AICs alone.
There are 100 AICs. There are 100 plus DST supported TBIs. There are, I think, 100 plus BIREC supported biomass centers. Plus Agri has a separate ecosystem for it. So all put together, I think you have 700 incubation centers. Out of those, 400 are fully functional right now. So I think as an ecosystem, plus the government support, the government vision, initiative, everything has been pulling this, this whole ecosystem up.
Great. Yeah, so I think this gives me a kind of opportunity to now bring my attention to one of the most successful women entrepreneurs who has emerged from your incubator. She's Madhavi Jadha, with whom I think I had this opportunity to interact with her. I think in her first pitch alone, and subsequently, I think we have been interacting with you, Madhavi. So would you like to kind of bring to the fore your own journey into this entrepreneurship world before we try to understand about your accomplishments and all that?
Sure. Thank you so much. So definitely, first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and, talk to people. This is, I guess, the best thing about building something, that you get to share what you have learned with other people. So thank you for that. About me, so I'm a petroleum engineer by qualification, and I have worked for 9 years in companies like Reliance, Schlumberger, and Royal Dutch Shell. However, growing up, I was bullied for my body weight, and I did not take it quite well. I developed self-esteem issues. I had to take help from counselor to get out of it. And in 2017, when I was visiting my niece, I saw her struggling with the same issues. And I became her ThatMate, like a friend to whom she could discuss anything under the sky. And that's where the journey of ThatMate started. And I saw like her, there were so many teens, and actually there are 253 million teens in the country who have no idea what is going on in their mind and body as soon as they hit puberty. And I thought, let's build something for them. Let's help them. Not build, let's help them. And it started with, working with schools. We worked with around 8,000 students in 80 schools to understand what are the problems they are facing, how
Mhm.
the space looks like, because I don't come from this space. I have no idea what is going on, how to build for this space. And that's where when I worked with school, and it was totally an NGO model. I did not know how to make money, and how to use P&L statements. Everything was very new to me. It was just a passion to build something, to create something to help these students. And at the same time,
Okay.
I got to know about Banasthali from one of my teammates. She said, this is something. I come from Maharashtra, and for us, Maharashtra and Pune is the limit, right? If you are any part of Maharashtra, you go to Pune and you study. However,
Or Mumbai, for
or
that
Mumbai,
matter.
exactly.
Yes.
But Pune
Yeah.
is like, you call it Oxford of the East and all that. So Pune, so most of my friends have studied in Pune as well. But then she comes from Delhi, and she said that, why don't you apply to Banasthali? Like, it's a very renowned university, and I did my little bit of research, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Let's apply to that. And till that point of time, I knew nothing about how will I monetize this, what will happen to the business model, whether this is a business also, I didn't know that. So I was
Okay.
at this stage, and where I applied to Banasthali, and they were kind enough. At that time, they were incubating not for profits also. I don't know if they do it right
Yeah.
now, as of now. So
I think
they
they do
incubated.
lot of programs. They run a lot of programs. Anyway, Abhishek will touch upon it later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And that helped me work on it. And it was 8 months program. From my not for profit, they helped me to create a for profit organization, and they were the
Wow.
first one to invest in us, also to have that faith that, this is a business and they can build it. And they helped us with many angel investors who supported us in our mission and are still supporting us in the mission, I guess.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I think when you are starting up early, you need that direction, you need that mentorship, you
Sure.
need that support that AIC provided us without thinking twice about, because there was no
Also the
connection,
moolah.
right? Yeah,
People give you all kind of assurances, but they don't invest.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you are totally now, like, I did not know them. Like, there was no personal connection. See, people invest when there is some personal connection, etc. But
Sure.
I just applied through their program, and they trusted me so much that till now, till date, they have been supporting me, and I'm very thankful to them as well for that support. So
Excellent. So quickly, can you tell us about your accomplishments? Like what stage of your startup where have you reached actually? How much money have you raised? What is your turnover, current turnover? Somewhat statistics,
yeah,
for
turnover is
us to
quite
know. Yeah.
confidential, but yeah, I'll talk
All
about
right.
our journey. So we launched
Sure.
in December
How
20.
many people you have impacted so far?
Yeah,
Something like that.
that
Yeah.
we can
Sure.
talk. Yeah, and we saw really great growth rate. It was around 110% month over month, and now
Oh,
we have reached around 200,000 downloads of our app.
all
And
right.
we are currently running our pilots in 6 schools. So we started with a D2C model, but then mental health is a stigma, so move to B2B, where we are working piloting with schools, and we have people like UNICEF, Tech Mahindra Foundation, Ambuja Cement Foundation supporting us in our mission, and
All right.
there is Will Grow, USAID, Japaigo, who are supporting us currently,
Excellent.
and soon we
Any
will
venture
be.
capitalists also with you?
Yeah,
Any
yeah, as angel investors, yes. But now
angel?
we are raising our second round. So, till now, we have raised around 1.5 crores.
All
Right
right.
now, we are in the process of raising around 8 CR. Yeah, this will be our institutional round, raising from the VCs.
And
Currently, we
this
are
will be
also.
for scaling up across India or what?
Yeah, so we are shipping our product to the US also. So basically scaling it up in India as well as in the US. And currently piloting in one of the schools over there, getting good response. We just got a product review of the of ThatMate and how it is working. So soon we'll start piloting in more schools over there. So that is the current stage. And uh, impacted, I would say, yeah, like there are 200,000 downloads, but impacted, I would say more 1.5 lakh students across India.
Excellent.
And we have seen
Excellent. It's a
people
huge number.
using, yeah, and we have seen people using the app, from Jaipur, Lucknow, Patna, which is very unheard of, that, people say that, it's mental health, who will invest, or people, this is only people in the city who need it. It's not like that. People in every part of India need it, and through tech we are able to reach out to them. And I hope more and more students come and take our help, because we have things to help them, like, dealing with exam stress, anxiety, peer pressure, puberty, everything that is related to them, and related
Yeah, so it's a brilliant journey. In fact, Madhavi, I think I kudos to you for this thought leadership that you have provided in terms of, taking a taboo subject and bringing it, mainstream, kind of thing, and get people talking about it, get people discussing, and also interacting with one another. I think it's an incredible journey. Abhishek, I think, like Madhavi, there must be, I think, many more, isn't it? So would you like to give us a statistic as to how many women have come out of AIC Banasthali and how are they doing in their life? Something in brief.
I think we do programs across the spectrum. So we do a lot of work in orienting students and women on entrepreneurship. So there we have, I think, we have covered almost 23,000 women on entrepreneurship, giving them entrepreneurship knowledge. In fact, entrepreneurship as a course has been inducted as a mandatory course across all UG/PG programs at Banasthali. So almost each year, 3,000 students go through that program. Secondly, we do some capacity building of micro women entrepreneurs that we are doing with the US Embassy. There we have covered, I think, 100 women entrepreneurs across 10 North Indian states. The second cohort we have, second year we have just launched. So there also we cover around 50 or so. In terms of startups, I think we have covered almost 125 startups till now over the last 5 years. Out of these, some 61 have raised a total funding of around 760 million rupees, which is more than 1.5 crore per startup. So almost, I think 50% of our portfolio has been able to raise money. The beautiful
And
part,
this is mainly from angel or angel?
No, so this includes government grants, the fund which we offer, and angel money and VC money all put together.
All put together.
And I think the best part, I think I'm not a big fan of funding as such, because funding is an outcome, it's not an input. But the good part is, out of these 125 startups, some 80% have been sustainable for more than 2 years. Which is I think the best part to claim, because that's where the whole impact comes in. Because if the startup founder is able to survive for more than 2 years, the business is certainly making sense for them. Funding eventually will come.
Excellent. Yeah, so this is very inspiring, and in fact, a model to go for all the other for all the other incubators and accelerators. I think, again, coming back to Madhavi for a little more information, as you were saying that, you did not know a bit about business, and then, you were made a businesswoman by AIC Banasthali. So what is it that you would like to kind of give a message, as such a message to the young women? I think, and in fact, for example, in arts, there are about 300 young girls and women who are studying these various courses of creative entrepreneurship, and in fact, many of them are passionate to do something. So what would you like, how would you like to kind of, reach out to them and kind of, give them a piece of advice? Madhavi?
Some network issue, I guess.
Her frame is frozen or what?
That's she's joining back.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is a question that you should take, Abhishek, that, because this was going to be to come to you, that what would you like to, kind of, how would you like to approach to these young women, that what they should do, some stepwise approach?
No, I think we are in a very exciting time in India right now. The government, corporate, academics, parents, everyone has woken up to entrepreneurship now. When Shark Tank, has kind of amplified the whole game now. So it's a good time for everyone to think of entrepreneurship. Although I feel it's not for everyone. but there's no harm in trying something and exploring a new way of doing things. I think the creative economy is at its best right now. You have a lot of free tools available, technology that is best. So I feel it's a good time for young women to explore entrepreneurship as a career opportunity. Do something which excites you, do something creative there, and see if that can become a business model for you. But I think specifically for design students, there's a lot to be done, because this is something which each design student has some creative thought behind themselves. So there's a lot of opportunity there, because the IP is very much available with them. I mean, they can create something which the others cannot do. So
Yes.
that's very much there. In terms of the process, I think entrepreneurship is courses are available. I think Arts Institute is doing a lot of work there also. So be part of such courses, explore yourself, be part of the incubation program they have, and then see whether it excites you or not. If it excites you, go further and launch your venture. Otherwise, companies these days are looking at employees who have a creative bent of mind. So even if you're not an entrepreneur, become an entrepreneur and use your creative thought to develop something. I think that's the real opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So Madhavi, I think we lost you in between. I was asking you that from not a typical businesswoman, you became a very successful businesswoman. And what is the message that you would like to give to all such aspiring women out there?
First of all, I'm not a very successful businesswoman. I have just begun my journey, and
But come on, you have raised a good amount of money, and you are raising again a good amount of money, and I think you are scaling up your model, which talks volumes about how you are doing.
yeah, I would call myself as an entrepreneur, like very enthusiastic entrepreneur
Social
rather
entrepreneur.
rather
Yes,
than yeah.
sure.
And yeah, one message, I guess, grit and perseverance are really important for an entrepreneur. I had those times. Abhishek will remember, where I was like, Abhishek, I think I should quit, and I'm not able to do. I think this is it. But keeping at it, not leaving it, and just giving your best till till you see light at the end of the tunnel. I guess that is something important, and keep pushing yourself. There will be very tough days. There will be very tough days where you will be like, what should I do? And there will be no hope. But have some mentors around who will keep guiding you, who will be your guiding force. Keep your family around, and yes, of course, take counseling if you need, because I guess entrepreneurs need it the most. They have to go through so much of stress every day. Most of the times, I say if there is no stress on one day, I'm like, okay, everything is normal. This is not my normal. So that kind of things we go through. So of course, we need to like perseverance is something that helps an entrepreneur a lot.
Great. Okay, so now the institutional part. Abhishek, from 150 startups to what is your next goal? Reach out to how many? And then I think, we've been also talking about it, and I would like to mention it here, that how about reaching out to the women or to the girls who are yet not there in the mainstream. And in fact, when I say this, I have just concluded a 3 days trip to Dholpur, a small village, small district in Rajasthan, where I found that, in all the skill training institutions, it is mainly the women who are actually taking all kinds of training, be it computer training programs, be it, there was something called seller activation program. Now this seller activation program, I had no clue that what it is. And in fact, I was told by all these audience that, they are here for, they are also supported by employment exchange with a little grant. And then so they asked me all kind of questions, that what am I doing here? How can I support to them? What else can they do? So something on these lines, Abhishek, would you be kind of, opening up a bit, that what are your plans in this regard, if at all?
Sir, I think that is something which is on the wish list, that as part of our social responsibility, we wish to go to the last mile and support some rural women also. Although slightly we have started doing that by supporting micro-women entrepreneurs, but I think the bottom of the pyramid is so huge that you need
Yes.
a different kind of capability and a whole new team who can go deeper and do work with them, because it's not only about skilling, it's also have to do a lot of work in enabling them to do something. So I think
Exactly.
a lot of people as part of the NGOs, they're only teaching and providing training programs, but I think the biggest missing link is the market access. Unless until
Absolutely.
you bring market access to them, whatever they do doesn't make sense. So
Absolutely.
I think that there you need a whole new set of understanding and skills to develop and implement such kind of programs. But that's certainly on our mind, and we'll figure out something on those lines also. But we
Sure.
do some work with rural women around the campus, and I think these are some learnings which we had that you need a very different skill set there.
I think, one very interesting observation as a development practitioner that I have is that, we have come a long way from the days that, women were put up in self-help groups, if you
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
That story began, I think, almost 2 decades old or maybe more. So that self-help group movement actually became bigger. And then there were self-help group federations. And then there were self-help group, I think, some block level federation, then district level federation. And in fact,
Yes.
some of the states like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, which is now there are two different states, but they did tremendous work. And also Tamil Nadu, some southern states. And in fact, this movement became so strong that it was called as SHG movement. And this new movement after that, that I'm seeing now for the women, which is a producer company, or you can say the startups, actually, two or three founders coming together, two or three friends coming together. So how would you like to kind of see this trend? Like what is the beauty in this, which was missing in the earlier one? Both you and I think Madhavi would also like to answer this.
Yeah, I think let Madhvi answer this first.
Yes,
Madhvi?
Madhvi,
Yeah.
how do you see this movement from SHG to startup?
I think Shark Tank has played a major role here, where having entrepreneurs go pitch there, talk about it, and of course there are so many schemes out there, starting from like uh, government schemes. If I don't know how many of you know about this, but government has a lot of schemes for startups who are less than 2 years, who are 5 years. Like they give grants, they give support, they give loans at very low interest rate. That kind of system has become, like, if there is conducive system, then people thrive, right? That is what happening to the entrepreneurs right now. Government is providing a conducive
Sure.
ecosystem for us. It's very development focused, and I think that has helped entrepreneurs like me to take advantage, like having a place like AIC Banasthali to go and ask for grants or maybe some support in terms of funding, in terms of mentorship, whatever we need.
Yes.
They were there for us. So I guess making the environment has become so conducive. People are talking about startups. They are not saying that when do you become an entrepreneur, or and everything. So that kind of mindset is changing. People know what is revenue. People know how to go for valuation. So when it has become now everyone's everyday a part of life, it becomes a very conducive for women entrepreneurs also to jump in, especially when Abhishek was telling that there are women entrepreneurs who like to start after a break. So you will see there are many entrepreneurs who are building with their moms. You will see many entrepreneurs who are building after babies. I know two of my friends who are building language career, and they were doing quite well in their setups, and but they thought that they have to manage both, and they started this their own business, and they have raised some good amount of money also. So here I would like to say that, of course, when you are building your own, you have a lot of challenges, and you may not get time to balance your work and life. But if you are doing something that you like, right, especially in a startup, you don't feel that there should be a difference in your work and life. I many times end up working for 18 hours thanks to the US business that I'm building up, and I'm not like positive for, or I'm not promoting that people should go for it, but once you like your work, you tend to do that. And that is what, while building a startup and, building something that you like helps you to do. Also, there is question by Garima, what is the biggest
Yes.
challenge that you have faced? Biggest challenge was and is still in India, that there is a stigma around mental health, and people are very reluctant to accept that they have these issues, especially with a teenager. And when they are like 40, 50, they think, oh yeah, now the issue is there and we need to take help.
Right.
However, these all problems that they all stem from right from their teenage, like when they're teenagers. So I think that importance should be given, and the support should be provided from that age. So that was the biggest challenge, and I guess that is the biggest challenge for me till date. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, definitely.
And Garima, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So Abhishek, I think I don't have any questions for you, but Garima, would you like to ask anything from Abhishek also? Garima,
Yes, sir.
would you like to ask anything? Abhishek?
Hello, Abhishek, sir. Sir, I would like to ask that what do you think are the most biggest supporting structure from the government, or what are the biggest schemes which budding startup can apply so that they can get a help and get a good start in the beginning, like direct
Good.
help?
Yeah, thanks for asking this question. I think
Yes.
I missed that part earlier. I think so. There are two kinds of startups. You have one which is developing a physical product. The other might be developing a technology, a software technology, right? So I'll divide your question into these two things.
Sure, sir.
So for when you're building a physical product, there is support from DST, which is Department of Science and Technology, which offers a prototyping support of rupees 10 lakh, up to rupees 10 lakhs, right? So that's a fabulous amount to start something or to work on something which is just an idea with you, right? So the grant is basically for entrepreneurs who have an idea and they want to create a prototype.
Sure, sir.
So once you are done with the prototype, you can go for another grant, maybe with DST or BIRAC or some other agency. So start up 10 lakhs is the first thing. For MVP building, you can again go to a Startup India seed fund for up to 20 lakh rupees of grant. And if you have done with the MVP and you are now commercializing, you can have another grant, another fund of up to 50 lakhs from Startup India seed fund, right?
I think you should specify what is MVP here.
MVP is minimum viable product, a product which has basic features, which you can sell to the customer. Not a fully furnished product, but a basic product which the customer is happy to pay for.
Or
with
POC,
all the basic features.
of concept. I think in some ways
Yeah.
it is interchangeable.
So there are 5 stages of a product. One, the first is idea. Then you create a proof of concept, which is a more of a blueprint. It can be a research paper also. It can be something you have done on a model also. The third is prototype, which is where you create a working or a non-working prototype, which actually showcases the product. Then you start adding features to it, which becomes the MVP. And after MVP, you have the final product. So these are the 5 stages.
Sure.
So for a product startup, you have grants at each of the stages. So you are working on an idea, you can have grants up to 2 lakhs, 4 lakh rupees from various ministries.
Sure.
You have 10 lakhs for building a prototype. You have some more money up to 20 lakh rupees for the MVP. And then if you have done with the MVP and want to commercialize, you can have another 50 lakhs from a Startup India seed fund. So that kind of support is there. Then DST again offers a scheme which is called seed support program, which is up to 25 lakh rupees. That too can be given to a startup for building a physical or a software technology, largely physical. I mean, because DST has a mandate for deep technology.
Okay.
So when you talk about software products, ICT products, you have Ministry of Electronics and IT, which offers grant of rupees 4 lakhs for working on the idea. That is also a prototyping grant. So it's, in software technology, you call it beta. So you can use that money for developing a beta version. Then you have up to 7 lakh rupees for developing a MVP there. And again, they offer 35 lakh rupees for developing the full product and commercializing in the market. Again, you can go to Startup India seed fund for all these things, up to 20 lakh rupees of grant or 50 lakh rupees of seed fund for commercialization, right? You have another stream of money coming from BIRAC, which also offers all these funds at each of these stages, right? That's primarily for life sciences, agriculture, health tech, medtech kind of products where deep technology in life sciences is involved. So there also you have money at idea level, at prototype, MVP or commercialization up to 50 lakh rupees, and it can go up to crores also depending on the kind of technology you're building. So I think money is never a problem and is not a problem right now. There's ample of money which is available. It's only that you have to bring some kind of innovation, creativity in whatever you are doing, right? A routine business can have funds from bank. Banks also offer a crore, I think 2 crore of rupees to small businesses now, which is not secured. I mean, you don't need a collateral for it. It's just without any security money which bank offers.
Yeah.
Right. So money is not a problem. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think this point was also accentuated by Madhavi earlier that government of India is doing a lot, and this has actually enthused a lot of women to shed their inhibitions in terms of starting up and going forward and finding their own support systems, be it with incubators, be it with individual mentors and all. I think this is actually a very, I would say, a great time in the history of India, where India is showing to the world that what the government should do.
Yeah.
I think this is a very proud moment for all of us as Indians, And at the same time, Abhishek, because I have also been associated with a few other institutions, I think you rightly said that there is no dearth of money even when you are thinking about it, when you are ideating about it. For example, there is this young innovator innovation change maker award,
Yes.
YICA, which is instituted by 3M along with CII. And they also provide some 10 lakh worth of grant for ideation,
Yeah.
So I think then there are lot of, I think I was also going through some websites and I was seeing that there have been, many such platforms which have sprung up recently. And they are asking you to submit your business plan or your idea in a very creative manner. And based on that, they have different kind of, I think, prize schemes and all that. So these are very exciting times. And I think we've seen a live example in front of us that how Madhavi, from being a hesitant woman, has actually gone and made it big for her and for so many others. I think her last piece advice from Madhavi, first of all, I think you said enough, but still, for example, I gave the example of this rural women, aspiring women. So how would you like to kind of, reach out to such people who have never been in the forefront,
I think rural women have always been entrepreneur, right? I mean, they uh, they have been selling achars, papads. I don't know from how many long, like I don't even know since when. So
Yes.
they know the business better. They can negotiate like no one else. I have been reading books on how to negotiate, but look at our women. They can even save money from they haggle so much and they can save money from the sabzi wala. So these are all the skills that are required by an entrepreneur, right? I mean, you have
Yes.
to manage the team with empathy, which every woman can do. You have to haggle you have for your valuations, which which you have to learn. And so these skills are there. It's just that with platforms that Indian government is providing, we just have to take advantage of that and just try to make it big and just keep at it.
Great.
That
So
is my
would you like to mentor some of our young women who would like to make it big in social entrepreneurship, if I can ask you straight?
I think I'm just learning. I'm not reached that stage where I can mentor
No,
people. But if there is some
yeah,
help that I can provide by
sure.
having such sessions, or some sessions where I can have a closed group discussions, of course I
That
can
would
do
be
that.
that kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So
But that
Abhishek,
is something I guess Abhishek is better at.
yes,
So
yeah,
rather than
Abhishek, that is what I was going to him, that Abhishek, any beauty of these peer networks and how are they helping their juniors?
Peer networks per se.
Peer networks means like the women who have made it big, who have made
Yeah,
it something, substantial. And now,
absolutely.
how are they? Are they also reaching out to those who have yet?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we regularly invite our alumni to come back and guide the younger ones. I think that works best because you can pretty well relate to what they have been going through and how they have overcome those challenges. That's absolutely works. I think there is some research also on this, and it also talks about that the more women, successful women who come back and start giving back to the younger women or at the bottom of the pyramid, the better it is, because they understand each other's challenges better, and it's very good reference point to start with.
Great. So these are actually gems of advice, and thank you from my side to both of you. I think not only you are formidable achievers, but also you are great orators, both of you, Abhishek and Madhavi. And thanks a lot.